Good morning, everyone. So we're just going to briefly talk about the energy that's going on specifically today with the moon in Virgo. It is trining Saturn. It's already trined Uranus, but now it's trining Saturn. It's going to trine Pluto as well today before it moves into Libra. And it's just more accountability. And I am going to do a Saturn and Pluto conjunction special, but that energy is already starting to grow. We're at about 2 degrees. Saturn and Pluto are about 2 degrees at conjunction right now, which means they're very close to conjuncting. They will be conjuncting on January 12th at an exact, which the last time that happened was in 1982. So it's kind of a big deal. And it's really telling all of us that we have to really hold ourselves accountable right now. There's no way that you can, at this point in your journey or in your existence, blame other people for the things that are happening to you. Because if somebody else treats you poorly, or somebody else is, if somebody else is continuously treating you poorly over and over and over again, but your choice is to stay within that, even though you know how the kind of person that they are or whatever, or if you choose to stay in a job that is no longer working for you and you're not doing anything, and this is for the people that aren't doing anything to change their life. Saturn conjunct Pluto is going to be a really big wake-up call for a lot of people. We're already having a lot of people waking up right now. Usually going through your spiritual awakening, something happens where there's a really big either trauma or like a push for you to start seeing the world in a different way. It's much more complicated than that, but that's very high level. I know that there are people out there that are going to correct me through this entire thing because that's the energy right now. Like everybody is really, they are super opinionated. And everybody is it's like they're gonna let you know. Everybody's out in the world. They're gonna let you know how they really feel. They're going to tell you if they think you're wrong. They're going to bring a lot of things to the table for you. It's up to you. And this is the talk that we're gonna get into. I don't even know if I'm going to pull cards today, because somebody asked me in an email a couple of days ago to touch upon or to make a video about boundaries and creating boundaries for yourself and then upholding them. Like, it's easy to say, I've created a boundary. It's easy to say, this is my boundary. This is what I expect out of this situation. It's easy to say it. It's really, but then you are tested, right? You get into a situation where you have to say, I'm gonna uphold my boundaries, or I'm gonna completely release my boundaries, or I'm not going to listen to what my intuition is saying on how to. So I'm gonna tell you guys. She asked me, how do I create healthy, loving boundaries and then stand firm on them? Because that's really the biggest thing, right? Is being able to stand firm on them. Really quick, before we do get started in there, I do have a couple of spots open for in December for Capricorn birthday readings. If you're a Capricorn and you would like to get your birthday reading in December before the new year starts, I literally, like the last 2 days of the year, the 30th and the 31st, I only have a few spots open. And then everything else is every other, like a regular reading. If you get a regular reading, which those 30-minute readings are still on sale, they'll be on sale until the 31st if you want to get a reading after the first of the year. And also the workshop, the self-alignment workshop, which what I'm talking about today, that self-alignment workshop is really going to be very beneficial for you to learn how to create the boundaries with what I'm about to talk about today. The self-alignment workshop on January 5th, if you pre-register, if you pre-order before midnight on December 31st, you will also get the 4 meditations in January for free. It's a $20 value. So literally you're paying $44 for the workshop. So you get 2 hours of my time, plus you get a recorded reading, or not a recorded reading, a recorded workshop, 2-hour workshop that you can watch as many times as you want to. And you're also registered automatically for the 4 meditations in January, because the 4 meditations in January we're going to be, they're going to go, they coincide with the workshop. The workshop is about becoming present, manifesting it with, in mindful manifesting, being present and manifesting from the now. And we've been talking all year long. And in fact, if you didn't take my last workshop where we talked about the blockages, how you're blocking yourself from living your best life, make sure you get that replay before the 31st, before the end of the year as well. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing in January. So want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity. The jewelry, the necklaces, the rings. I don't have my ring on because I just had all my nails cut off. They were my real nails and now they're short, but I'm starting the year off fresh. So I cut off all my nails. It was so funny because like for the salon, it was actually a really big deal for me to do it because they were my real nails and they were like, we should make a moment out of this. And like everybody took a moment of silence. It was so silly, but it was funny. I love those people. Anyway, so let's talk about boundaries, you guys. And the biggest thing with creating boundaries in your life, you have to know that you deserve them. Because, and I'm going to be leaning towards the women's side a little bit here, and that doesn't mean men that I have anything against you, because I love men. I think you guys are wonderful human beings. I think that a lot of you out there really get it. I think a lot of you would put your life on the line for the woman that you love. I think that there are some men out there that are not this way. But I've found in my history, and this is what I've noticed with other women when I do like readings for them or something. Hold on a second. Yes, it's true. I actually had my phone on Do Not Disturb, and then I took it off, and then I just put it back on. Sorry. Okay. And I have to blow my nose. Give me 1 second, you guys. I just need to be in the... Okay. So the first step to creating loving, healthy boundaries is to realize that you deserve it. That your feelings, how you feel about situations, how you feel about yourself, it matters, right? Because a lot of times when you assert your boundaries and somebody else is offended, and I'm going to tell you how this even happened to me today. When you assert your boundaries or you say, this is sort of where I draw the line, like this is what I expect out of this situation, and this is where I draw the line. When you do that and somebody else is offended by it, or you lose a friendship, or you lose a relationship, or you whatever, right? Or you get into a fight with someone, you get into an argument with someone. Whenever that happens, it causes us automatically, and this is for most people, like we're looking at the most percentage of people. Before you wake up, before you realize what you deserve in life, before you've set your boundaries, this causes us to immediately react by thinking, oh my gosh, if I don't conform to what other people want me to do, I'm not going to be liked. I'm not going to be taken care of. Nobody's going to want to be with me. Nobody's going to want to marry me. Nobody's going to want to date me because I'm going to look difficult, right? There's the word. You don't want to be difficult. So we drop our defenses. We drop our boundaries. In my past, I know like in relationships and stuff, I would not come right out and say, I do not feel comfortable with you flirting with me in that manner. Because there are some very aggressive guys out there that will start flirting with a woman, even still today, it's happened, will start flirting with a woman automatically, and they think that if they say, sorry if this makes me sound perverted, or sorry if this makes me sound gross, or sorry if, it's like they apologize before they even offend the woman, but they still offend her by saying the thing that even though they recognize that it's perverted, even though they recognize that it might be a little much, even though they recognize it already, because we've been programmed to just be like, oh no, that's okay. That's really, like, if that's the way you're going to flirt with me, we are not a match, right? I need you to flirt with me with your mind. I need you to flirt with me with your words. I need you to flirt with me by us sitting down and having a conversation and sharing a cup of coffee and interacting with each other. I will flirt with, and there are some women out there that like the physical flirting, whatever, right? This is all based on your preferences and how you feel about the situation and how you feel about yourself. So in the past, I have created a space for myself that was not healthy. And I would allow men to flirt with me. I would allow men to, make comments about my body, make comments about my face. Before they even knew me, they would make comments about who they thought I was based on what I looked like, right? So I wouldn't create boundaries, and I wouldn't say, I don't feel comfortable with you saying that to me, or I don't feel comfortable how you're coming at me, or I don't feel comfortable, or, this, and this. But I also had very low self-esteem. So I had also been assaulted several times in my past. Like, I'm not going to get into the past. I've talked about it before, but I had been sexually assaulted since a very young age by men. And so I already had a complex, right? I already had, and nobody taught me that that wasn't okay. Nobody, because what I taught, what I learned from all of that in my life, that if I didn't conform to the way a man was approaching me or the way another person was approaching me, if I didn't conform to what they wanted, then I was automatically not going to be liked. Okay? So we almost give too much of ourselves, and then we wake up and we realize, I need boundaries. I am in a situation right now, like, not me personally, but you think to yourself, I'm in a situation right now where I'm healing, and this is what this person brought to me. She's healing from a past relationship, but then a new person came into her life, and they have a very strong connection. And it's not that she doesn't want to have a relationship with this person, but she knows in her heart of hearts that she knows it's not the right time. And so she says to me, how do I uphold my boundaries, my healthy boundaries, without hurting his feelings or without making myself feel guilty? Because that's the other thing, is when we start to put our boundaries up and we say, I don't feel comfortable with you doing this. Like, I've actually had to do this with people and with guys. I mean, it still happens, right? They see a pretty girl and all of a sudden their brain, like, they have 0 brain cells. And I love men. I love you guys. I know I have a lot of men who watch this channel. I thank you so much for the support. I am not man bashing by any way, shape, or because men need to have these healthy boundaries as well, because there are aggressive women out there. Okay. So let me even address that side. There are aggressive women out there, and men, you need to have these same kind of healthy boundaries, because you need to know that you deserve it. You deserve the respect. You deserve the love, because that's pure love. When somebody respects your boundaries that you've created and they don't try and fight your boundaries that you've created, that is the ultimate way that you can love somebody. So, yeah, so even with men, like, I've even had to tell men that have the best intentions. Like, I know they have a really good heart. I know they have the best intentions. I know that they don't mean to offend me. I know that they don't mean to do me any harm. But when I say, this is my boundary, and that reaches that man in some way, and he doesn't, it's almost like they don't listen, right? And then you have to say it again. Do not do that. You can flirt with me without being sexual. It's very easy to do, in fact. You can flirt with me without being sexual. And then the second time you say, this is my boundary. You have to say it a little louder. I give people, and it's funny because my chances have gone way, way down. But when I can tell that a person is just a genuinely good person and they're not trying to offend on purpose, but they need to, like, you almost have to teach other people what a healthy, loving boundary looks like. And you say to them, so I've actually had to say to somebody recently, I've asked you 3 times, and this is the last time, and I'm not going to ask you again because I feel like you're not listening to me, right? And Some people I don't even give 3 chances. Like if I can tell that their intentions, because I feel your energy before you even approach me. I can tell, even if I don't even know who you, even if I'm not meeting you in person, I can tell what your energy is as you're approaching me. You see? So, how do you do it? You have to stop worrying about how other people think of you. You have to stop worrying about how other people feel about you. Because that's really the problem. When you create the healthy boundary and you say, please stop asking me out. I have told you time and time again, I care about you. I want to be friends with you. And this is for a man or a woman, right? If a woman is asking a man out over and over and over again, and she's not respecting the fact that the man asked you, you say it very simply. You say very calmly, I do care about you and I want you to be in my life and I want to be friends, but I'm healing right now. And I told you this. I told you that I am not ready for a relationship. I told you that I'm healing. And no matter what you do, that's not going to change. The only thing that will change is the connection that we have, because it's going to start to upset me if I have to continue to remind you over and over and over again. Like, make sure that you are building that foundation with that person by saying, I respect you, please respect me. And the reason why it's hard is because we're not used to standing up for ourselves. We're not used to saying, this is a hard line. Do not cross. Because we don't want other people to not like us. And that is you have to like yourself so much. You have to love yourself so much that you no longer allow anybody to hurt you ever again, including crossing your boundaries. So it's not the easiest thing to do, but once you, and you have to be patient with yourself too. And of course, if you allow somebody to cross a boundary, you're going to have to backtrack and say, listen, I know that I didn't tell you this before. As long as you make your intentions clear, as long as you make your expectations of that person clear, and you allow yourself to say, these are my very clear expectations, and should you cross them, we're going to have a problem, in a very loving way. Like, I appreciate your opinions, and that you can do this with friends and family. I appreciate your opinions. I appreciate what it is that you want to do for me. I appreciate this. I appreciate that. But this is where I draw the line. And it's based on your comfort level, which will change. Because when the healing is done, or when your life isn't so chaotic, and it's also okay for you when somebody comes at you and doesn't ask you how you're doing energy wise, but if somebody comes at you and they like unload all of their shit onto you, and you back up and look at them and you're like, I wasn't expecting that, and I'm really not in the place to be able to deal with that today. Can we maybe table it or put a pin in it and discuss it later? Or can I help you with that problem tomorrow when I have a little bit more energy? Or can I give you some space? It's like, and it's not that I think that you have to like check in with everybody before, you have some friends where basically if they unload on you, you don't care. Like, it's fine if they unload on you. That's not going to cause a problem. But if it's like some random person at work and they're just somebody that likes to come over and unload all their problems on you, a lot of people would say, but I'm an empath. Everybody does that. Sometimes being an empath means you have to have stronger boundaries because you're very approachable, because people feel like they can just be in your space because your space is comfortable and it's calming and it's reassuring and it makes them feel better. But when people do that and you allow it, why do you think you're so exhausted at the end of the day after being in the office all day? Because you're taking on all those energies. You're not protecting your energy, which I teach everybody how to do that every week in meditations to protect your energy. You're not keeping up personal space and personal boundaries, and you're letting everybody do whatever they want to do, right? And you can't be afraid to lose people in your life just because you're voicing what you need. Like, just because you say, I need this space, I need to have this boundary in my life, If you're afraid of losing people by saying that, they're not the right people. If you're like, well, I can't tell this person because then they'll probably like go the other direction. Like they won't even care. Or that person's not even going to listen to me. Then that means they're not the right people. And you're holding on to them for another reason. Maybe it's a lesson in recognizing who your right people are. And it's not that I want you to alienate yourself from society either. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to like stay away from people. What I'm saying is to just be very discerning and very diligent. We live in a society where people think that they can insert themselves into your life at any moment and that that's okay. And so now, more than ever, now is the time for you to make sure that when you're creating those healthy, loving boundaries, you're doing it with the utmost love for yourself. Because then you're going to know what's real and what's right and what's wrong for you. It's going to be different for everyone. Okay. Also, if you would like to donate to the channel, again, people keep on emailing me and asking me if they can send me a card or a Christmas gift or something like that. I do not have a P.O. box to send gifts to or cards to, but I really appreciate the support and love. The way that you can show the most love and support to the channel is to either donate through PayPal or Venmo. I'll put the information below. Or you can simply like, share, and subscribe this video and all the videos that you watch on this channel. I'm slowly starting to be seen in the YouTube world again. We're still not back to where we were, but I was like lost in YouTube space, and it's fine. The people that needed to see me got to see me, but I want to be able to make sure that everybody's getting the message. So, and make sure that your settings are so that you're seeing when all the videos come out or when all of the announcements come out and all of that stuff. So I love you guys. Let me know if you have any extra questions about this in the comments. And if there's anything else that you guys want me to touch on when it comes to boundaries or self-love and all of that stuff. And 100% make sure that if you really, really, really want to find out how to live your best life and how to really love the life that you're living, because it's not really about finding a new life to live before you love it. You got to love the life that you're in right now. Please check out the workshops. The replay is available for the workshop that we did in 2019. The pre-order, pre-register is ready to go for the 2020 workshop, and you get $20 free meditations with the 2020 workshop if you pre-register before December 31st. I love you guys. Have a really wonderful day. I will be back with the 2020 readings, and I'll be doing Leo tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to do one today, but I will definitely get Leo's done tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye.